I have titled today's lesson on modern day lepers, with the word lepers in quotations. Peace be with you, and he is recognized. In our gospel today, he heals with a touch. Such very simple love. In our scriptures, we have many lepers cured. In the greatest of the stories, 11 at once. But only the foreigner, Naaman the Samaritan, give thanks to God for the awesome, incredible gift of removing this dreaded, deadly disease from their bodies and their lives. Leprosy, which is now called Hansen's disease, was a sentence of death and isolation up until 1873, when Dr. G.H.A. Hansen discovered the disease was not transmitted by touch, but through an airborne bacterium. And in 1940, treatment with modern antibiotics started. In 1963, the multi-drug therapy began and became the standard of practice that it is still today. There are outbreaks of one of the 4 strains of Hansen's disease within the United States on at least an annual basis, as there are in every one of the developed countries of the world. But rarely are any of these ever publicized because of how easily it is now treated and then eliminated. In biblical times, the only treatment was to live in a leper colony outside the city and wait to die in 5 to 7 years. It was a crime punishable by death by stoning to cause someone else to get leprosy. Thus the reason why lepers called out to announce themselves to people. "Unclean, unclean," they would shout. "We are unclean. Won't you show us mercy? Unclean." And they would ring a bell or have a noisemaker to gain attention of the inattentive. Now, imagine you had such a disease. The equivalent would be AIDS or HIV in the 1980s and 1990s, and when there was such a fear and hysteria of how it was transmitted. Remember the hysteria over using the same drinking fountain or catching it from using public toilets and the like. Imagine you were a stranger to an area. Would you go out with a group of known gay, infected men in order to interact with the Savior of the world if he could save you? "Sire, Master, please have pity on us. We each have the virus and can't be hired, and will die horrible deaths. Please have mercy on our souls." The man replies, "Go show yourselves to the priests at the mission." So they all go off together. But one, suddenly, notices that the sores on his body had all healed themselves. Another notices his pneumonia was gone, no fever and no coughing. They all went to the mission hospital and had their blood tested to see what their viral loads were, and all tested WNL, within normal limits, or showing as carrying no virus any longer. This had never happened before. A spontaneous healing of the dreaded virus. The disease was gone. And here were nearly a dozen where it had happened simultaneously. The one from out of town said, "I'm going to try to find that man, to thank him for his mercy. Is anyone else coming with me?" But no one appeared to have heard him in all their celebrating. So he went alone. He wandered the streets for about an hour before he found that street preacher. And upon seeing him, he fell to his knees, calling out, tears streaming down his face, "Sire, I am a grievous sinner, but you saw fit to show mercy to me. How may I show my thanks to you for this act of mercy and great forgiveness?" The preacher answered, "Love one another as I have loved you. The mercy that I have shown you, show to others. I can see that stone of a heart in your chest has finally broken and is now beating as a human heart again. Do not return home, else you will return to the hate and to the sheets. Your faith has saved you. My peace be with you." And with those words, the Christ was revealed to the man for just the moment. And then again, he was the simple street preacher again. How and where will Jesus appear to you? Will you be ready for him? Will your faith be strong enough on that day, at that time? Be honest with yourself all the time, and I'm sure it will be. Admit here and now, I am a grievous sinner, and I am always in need of forgiveness. Say it aloud. We all are grievous sinners, and we are all always in need of forgiveness. Remember this lesson always. You will need to know it someday.